Hello and welcome to round 10 of this RPL Season 1. And we are here in Silverstone for a sprint weekend. Evening, Rob, mate. How are you doing? My throat is not feeling great, to be honest. There is only 14 drivers here this week. There is a low count, but it's okay because the action we'll see will be good enough to make up for it. Yeah, it's good to see you racing as well, Rob. I'm glad that the FIA, I'm glad that the appeal did something and the FIA did decide to change their mind. It should be better for everyone. Right, so I did just see a car leave the garage. I'm not sure who it was making their way down the pit lane. It was Bad Boy Man. Always first out onto the racetrack. I am not sure if my co-commentator will be joining me tonight. Don't actually know where he is. There's a bit of a radio silence. Right. So we're just waiting for this Ferrari. It was a fine line, but glad it's just a quali ban. Yeah, so am I, to be honest, mate. Thank you for retiring and doing the right thing by upholding that qualifying ban. And luckily for you, it's sprint weekend, so you can make those places back up. It looks like we're going to be having a dry qualifying session and a dry race today, which is unfortunate for the lower teams, but I'm sure the Red Bulls and the Ferraris are very delighted to hear that. Right, here we go then. Let's ride on board with Bad Boy Man as he crosses the start-finish line, and we'll take you through the very first lap of this session around Silverstone. As he goes through Abbey in turn 1, he does slightly lift. That's not ideal, especially not in a good car like the Ferrari. He navigates turn 3 Village very well. Stays tight to the apex through turn 4. And now down the Wellington straight. DRS wide open, just double checking. Absolutely it is. Down into Brooklands, brakes late, runs a little bit wide. Does manage to recover back to the apex though. You're meant to go across the left hand side there. He doesn't, but it's all looking okay. It's a tidy first lap. Just needs to get a marker on the board. Now he takes Cops, he lifts through Cops and goes down a gear. Again, maybe he's not got the right setup on here, because in a Ferrari, that should be much more comfortable than it is. Through the fast Maggots, Beckett's and Chapel sector. And now onto the main overtaking place around this track. Down the Hangar straight, down into Stowe. Here's where we see the majority of the moves today. And he does stay nice and tight. Maybe a little bit too slow there. Through the Vale chicane. Just don't want to lose the back end. He does well to hold on to it. And finally through Club, there's a 128.3. It's not a bad lap to start this session with. Right, let's get the track map up so we can see who's next across the line. Brandon is just starting his lap. Driver's just starting his lap. Fant's just starting his lap. So yeah, we are on board here with Tees, the next driver to set a lap time. To be honest, it's down to the game situations like that occur. In real life, F1 lap cars should be allowed through. At EA Sports needs to let something happen. Yeah, lap cars should be allowed through if they're fast. Oh, and Tees loses it. He does well to not bin it into the wall. But Tees, who may have been on a good lap there in the Williams, I'm not entirely sure, finishes with a 131.3. East next across the line in the McLaren. And it's a 128.8, 5 tenths off Bad Boy Man. We'll turn our attention to his teammate next across the line. and he beats his teammate by less than a tenth, just under half of a tenth. As Newlack goes fastest in the Ferrari, Ifney is very wide offline. I'm not sure what he's doing. It's not Cyclo, it's Jake. Jake's just starting his lap as well. But Newlack with a 1:27.4, 9/10 ahead of his teammate. That is a very good lap. Oh, and he's doing donuts, just for celebratory reasons, I assume. Right, so riding on board here with Cyclo. He's on an out lap. He is just about to start his lap, and behind him, Brandon is on a flying lap. He needs to get out of the way. He does. Speed up. Brandon loses the Red Bull around the Vale chicane. How many times are we going to see that today? Cars losing it in that area. Trying to put the foot down all the way is very tricky through those corners. And Van with a 1:29.5 goes P5. Driver starts his lap. Noxie is about to start his lap. Right, so who is still on a lap? Right, Cyclo looks like the lead driver on a lap. If he isn't on a lap, he's about to go on to a new lap. Cyclo apparently set a purple sector 1. Let's see if that is accurate. As he goes down the kind of useless straight into Cops. And he invalidates, unfortunately. That is not ideal for his first run. It's a waste of a set of tyres. As Ifney now in the Red Bull. We've seen Brandon fail his lap with a little spin at the final corner. Right, driver in the Aston. Through Maggots and Beckett. Lovely sector of track this. Really does look good in game as much as it does in real life. He did run quite a wide line there though, so you'll see 106.2 middle split. It seems slow, but he is in an Aston Martin. As he goes towards the final 3 corners of this racetrack, you can see a brilliant side view of the Aston Martin car to ride on board with him through the final corner, and it's a 1:31.1, puts him P7. Xavi about to start his first flying lap in that Alpine. Chat, please do get involved. Tell me who you think will get pole position here going into the sprint race. Can the Red Bulls come back at those Ferraris who have set an already brilliant time there in a 1:27.4? Riding on board with Xavi down the Wellington Straight. Right off board with him through Brooklands, as he does stay very close to the apex, and a very wide line through Luffield. Has much of the track there without invalidating the lap. How does he take Cops? A slight lift, a gear shift down, but he's kept it very neat and tidy indeed. Xavi now, apparently it's a purple middle sector split, and it looks very good indeed as he now heads up the hangar towards Stowe. Can the Alpine driver find a nice resting place somewhere in the top 3 here? And he crosses the line with a 1:28.4, and it's just outside that top 3. Tease, is he on a lap? No, he's about to start a lap. In the Williams, sorry. Right, let's look at Niels. He's invalidated. East on an out lap. Bad Boy Man is on another lap. And there's East has crashed out. East has crashed out at the end of Cops into Maggots. I'm not quite sure how he's done that, but ghosting is disabled to make it realistic, so all the cars are going to have to avoid him on track. And that is going to ruin a few laps there. Cyclo's lap will have been ruined due to East, and that is unfortunate for those drivers. I want to know what happened to East there. Very strange place to crash, to be honest. Maybe he got on the grass and lost it. I'm not entirely sure. Is Noxie going to start a lap? He is one of the most talked about prospects here in RPL. He's found a seat in the Alfa Romeo, but we are expecting him to move to much bigger things next season if he can show some consistent performances. How good will this quali lap be? Breaking down into Village, avoiding the lockup. Very, very tight there to the apex of the loop. And now it's just flat out down the Wellington Straight into Brooklands. Brake at about 25 meters. Swing it round, swing it back to the left. Takes a wide line and hits the second apex, but he doesn't hit the first. And now cut as much to the track as possible, as Xavi did earlier in the Alpine. How big is the lift through Cops? It's a big lift. Can he keep it on? No, he cannot. And it's an invalidation again for Noxie, struggling to get to grips with that Alfa Romeo. Alvaro has now finally joined us, thankfully. He will get to qualify. Brandon here, the championship leader, taking no risks there at the outside of Cops. Does not want to invalidate his lap like Alvaro, not Alvaro, like Noxie has done. Brandon now heading into Stowe. Very tricky corner. Looks easy on the eye, but really, to nail that braking zone, very, very difficult indeed. And now Brandon through the Vale chicane and club. Where can he put his Red Bull? It's P1 by less than 0.04 of a second to Newlat, who is on a lap himself. We look on board with the other championship rival going down into Vale. Needs to improve, not by a lot. And he keeps the car absolutely planted through there, and he improves by just over 0.3. That is a great lap from the Ferrari driver. Puts himself into P1, provisional pole, 0.2 clear of Brandon. Cyclo is on an in-lap here. No, out-lap, sorry. Must be an out-lap. Ifni has invalidated his lap at turn 1. Tees is also on an out-lap. Right, we're a bit of a lull in the action here, so we'll ride on board with Fant. Seems to be the only driver on a lap. He's also on an in-lap. He has no ERS and no fuel. So, driver is the next car to cross the finish line to set a representative lap time, I believe. Just behind him is Newlat on an in-lap. A very wide line through Maggots and Beckett's for the driver. They will be out soon for the last run. They will indeed, Rob. They will indeed. The car doesn't look stable. That's the Martin. It looks like a real handful to drive. And there's a spin behind. Is it Noxie? It is. Right, let's go. Back on board with the driver. He's crossed the line. It's only P10 in the Aston Martin. Tees here is on a lap in the Williams. But we'll ride on board with Cyclo first, who will be the first cross line he's invalidated. Okay, so very difficult here when you're on your own trying to navigate who's on a lap and who isn't. Xavi is. And Xavi is currently going through Chapel onto the very long hanger straight. It's a very good improvement on his original lap time. He's 0.3 up here. This could be good enough for P3 if he keeps this final sector nice and tidy. What can Xavi do with this Alpine? Been very consistent this season, except the last couple of races where he's let it drop off. And it's P3 for the Alpine, ahead of both Mercedes, ahead of one of the Ferraris, ahead of one of the Red Bulls. Great job from Xavi. He will be very, very impressed with that. Right, Jake the lad is on an out lap. Right. He's on a 6.5 minute lap apparently. I'm not going to believe that. Driver will head into the pit lane, you would imagine, and he does. So this will be Jake's final run in qualifying. It's a very early final run, and Babbleman is going to follow him. And Jake the lad here in the Mercedes, looking to try and preferably beat the Alpine of Xavi's time. A 1:28.0. He needs to improve by 2.5 tenths to do so. Cut as much track as possible, gain as much lap time as possible. Down into Brookers. What's his sector 1 split? He is up by 1/10.5. It's not quite enough to beat Xavi, but thankfully he's got 2 more sectors to try and find that time. Jake the lad through Luffield. Very wide line, gets the power down early. Through Woodcott. And now down into Copse. He'll try and carry as much minimum speed as possible, and it's very nice indeed. The Mercedes looks quite well balanced around this track. Through Beckett and Chapel. Early on the power. Doesn't matter if you touch the grass. Stay close to this left hand side for as much possible lap time. He's only up by 600ths. How much time can he gain here in this final sector? Through Stowe he goes. It's a wide line and he's run over. He's not invalidated, but how much lap time will he have lost there? Through Club, and it is a 1:28.010. He is 1,000th slower than Xavi. That is so unfortunate for the Mercedes driver. That's an incredible lap time to be that close to P3. And Xavi has noticed it himself. He has left it too late. He will not get a final run in this qualifying session. So Jake the lad could have beat him if he'd have improved by 2 thousandths more. How incredible circumstances. We are now on board here with Noxie, who is, like I said earlier, trying to get to grips with this Alfa Romeo. He has invalidated both laps he's done so far. Xavi has retired. There is confirmation that he will not get another lap. Alvaro also will not do a lap. He is still in the pit lane. Noxie now through Maggots, through Beckett, finally through Chapel, and now he's got a very long straight to burn as much of that ERS as he possibly can. It looks it, Geordie. It looks so bad to drive. And now coming into Stowe, Noxie keeps it in 6th. Can he keep it within the track limits? Yes, he can. Down into Vale. Brake at the 50-metre board. Turn in. Down through Club. Where can he place this Alfa Romeo? It's a 1:28.4. It's P7. Next across the line is a Ferrari of Bad Boy Man. He is down significantly on his time. Over to Niels we go. Who's lost it? At the exit of Stowe, he is in the bin. Ifney giving Brandon a tow to try and beat Newlat for pole position. And there's a stray McLaren coming back onto the track. Where can Brandon put this? Will he take pole? Through Club, the final corner. And it's a 1:27.127, and Brandon does take pole position from Newlat by 600ths of a second. Incredibly close. Fantonius stays P6 and he does improve. Wow, what a qualifying session. Cyclo has also invalidated. So there you have it. There is your top 15 in that order. Banter Brandon takes pole yet again in Silverstone. Championship leader for a reason. Newlat almost his equal in P2. Less than 600ths behind. What a lap, says Rob. I cannot agree more. Banter Brandon really take a bow for that one. Xavi P3 and an Alpine pips both Mercedes. Cyclo will be disappointed with P11 not getting a final clean run. Bad Boy Man P5, it's not terrible. Bandonius putting AlphaTauri in P6. You've got Noxie, an incredible lap in the Alfa Romeo putting in P7. And we're going to have to wait for the rest of them to come back up because my memory doesn't serve me very well. P8 is Niels, P9 is East, which is not a bad result for the McLaren duo, especially as East crashed halfway through there. T's in the Williams P10 does as much as he can do. Cycler, as I said, very disappointed he will be. Driver in the Aston Martin P12. Ifney in the sister Red Bull. One's got pole, the other is P13. That was very disappointing. 15.5 seconds off the pace. Didn't get a clean run. Rob with his qualifying ban still doesn't start bottom of the grid. And Alvaro is P15. If you thought that was action-packed, wait for this sprint race. Here we go. We've got a sprint race for all of these drivers to try and gain as many positions as they can before the real race. Okay, wow. We need to take a moment just to breathe. T's P1 sprint. I don't understand what you mean. Oh, East was checking the football. Oh, that makes sense. I didn't think that was a reverse top 10. No, it is as they qualied. And now the formation lap, Brandon leads them away. He will want to get a move on here. The Red Bull with such good tyre warm-up. Right, let's double check what tyres everyone's on. It is mediums across the board. That is expected, to be honest, around here. Whew, I'm still trying to recover from that qualifying session. That really had the heart pumping. The Ferrari of Newlat really is back in the pack up here as Brandon runs away. He's now slowed it down. There's not one of those tyres to be cool on the grid. Right. Well, we will take away that tyre now that we know who's there. Right. Brandon now making his way down the hangar straight as the Alfa Romeo of Alvaro is just going through maggots now. There's a big gap there being held up by T's. This is more than the 10 car lengths you're allowed. This may be looked at by the FIA here if they're feeling a bit stingy. That is not allowed in the rules and regulations. Here we go then, as Brandon and Newlat have taken their spots on the grid. We'll look at the rear view mirror of Banter Brandon as Xavi has wildly misjudged that one. He's not got anywhere near close enough to the line. Straight the lads in position. Xavi, for stream mate, it looked like you were nowhere near the thing. Right, here we go then. 1 lights, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and it's lights out for the Britain sprint as Jake the Lad gets an excellent start. He's overtaken Xavi, so has Bad Boy Man. Is there going to be any chaos to unfold? Bad Boy Man and Xavi do touch going through turn 1. Brandon keeps P1. Xavi and Bad Boy Man are still battling it out. And now Xavi slipped down behind East. East has now had contact. And now there goes Niels in the McLaren round. And now as everyone races down towards Brooklands, Cyclo's made up 1 position. Ifney's made up 2. Fantonis and Tees trying to fight. Jake the Lad hasn't got any sort of timings there. That's obviously a glitch. That will hopefully fix itself as they go through the next sector board or potentially crossing the line. Fantonis now under severe pressure here from Cyclo. Into Maggots and Beckett. We ride on, well, not on board, but, well, we are now. Ride on board with Fantonis as East makes a mistake in front of Tees, and that's really holding everyone up behind. And now Cyclo's going around the outside of Fantonis. They're side by side, going down the hangar. Fantonis could use much less wing and much more ERS as he makes the move on Tees. Fantonis with a great move. And they're trying to go 3 wide into Vale. And they're side by side, still the Williams and the Alfa Romeo. Alfa Tauri, sorry. Finally that calms down. Tees, can he go again? I don't believe so. I think the Alfa Tauri may just have enough in there to try and get away from that Williams driver. These timings are doing my head in. Jake the Lad is properly glitched out here. Right, we'll ride off board here with Ifney in the sister Red Bull. His teammate is currently P1. He is stuck down 10 positions lower in P11. Not a good showing here for the second Red Bull driver. Will be lucky to keep his seat if it keeps going as it is. Red Bull typically known for hurrying their drivers out in the second seat. Cyclo now trying to size up a move on Tees. He needs to try and get this done quickly. The Mercedes is properly out of position here. Bad Boy Man gets a 3-second time penalty on lap 2 of this sprint. I don't want to break it to you, lad, but there are so many more laps than this during the real race. Can't be racking up penalties like this. Hopefully he's learnt his lesson now. Xavi is trying to push the back of Bad Boy Man here. In the Alpine, he lost 2 positions on the opening lap. He's trying to make them back up here. As there is a move at the back of the grid. Niels and Rob are side by side going into Stowe. Who's going to be later on the brakes? It's going to be Niels. Does he run wide? No, he doesn't. He keeps it on track nicely. Finally, the timings are sorted for Jake the Lad. And now we can breathe again. Cyclo is the closest here to the car ahead. And it's against Tees in the Williams. As the front 2 of Brandon and Newlap, the 2 championship leaders, are running away with this one. 2.3 seconds the gap between Jake and Newlap. And Tees, as much as he's trying to defend against Cyclo here, he is also going on the offensive against Fanthonius. Cyclo's just getting much better traction in that Mercedes. It's more built for these racetracks than that Williams, which looks like it's only built maybe for a wind tunnel, if that. East gets a 3-second time penalty as well. These drivers need to try and cut this out before the real race, otherwise penalties could determine how this grid finishes. And nobody wants that. Everyone wants the action to happen on track and only on track. As Cyclo pushing with all his ERS trying to pass. Fantonia sizing up the move on East. And he's going around the outside of Stowe. He's not going to get that one done. He's going to have to back out. He's now going to go down the inside of Vale, is he? He brakes early. And it's clean racing between the 2 of them. It's very good racing. Good to watch. And now Fantonis going, looking at it again. Through Abbey. This isn't my favourite camera angle in the world, but he makes the move. No, he doesn't. East just takes a wide line and just about stays ahead. Fantonius really piling on the pressure now to the McLaren driver. Riding on board with Fantonius. He is less than 2 tenths behind him. And they almost touch rear wheel to front wheel going around Brooklands. Fantonius needs to try and get past this McLaren of East to be able to keep progressing. He is not going to go down the inside of Copse. This cannot end well for either driver. And they touch. East has been forced to run wide by Fantonius. They're going to remain side by side through Maggots and Beckett's as East takes to the grass. He goes back for the switch. And finally, he will have to give that place up. And just behind them, Teaser's also got a 3-second penalty. And Cyclo is going to get him. Is he? They're both out of ERS, down the hanger straight, both with DRS wide open. Who's later on the brakes? It's going to be Tease. And Fantonius and East still side by side. East touches him. It's mayhem. It's pure carnage and mayhem here between places 7 to 11. Ifney cut the track and is now inside this fight. He's still got 68% ERS. He's going to be sizing up a move. East has now pulled somewhat of a gap to Fantonius. This is just pure bonkers. And as yellows, as East is round. Has he touched the wall? It doesn't look like he's got any visible damage. I don't know if there was a contact there or whether the clean air from being out from behind Fantonius has made him lose it a little bit. As Ifney trying to put pressure on Cyclo in the Mercedes. This would have been the key battle from last year. A Red Bull versus a Mercedes. Who's going to come out on top this year? Last year it was Red Bull. This year they've got Cyclo. Who's getting past Tease? Tease has made a mistake. Tease has been overtaken by both Ifney and Cyclo. And Tease runs wide. Has Tease got damage? Tease is really struggling here. Very uncharacteristic from the normally very, very consistent Williams driver. And now Ifney can burn that ERS that he saved earlier on in the race to try and get past the Mercedes of Cyclo down into Stowe. Cyclo's going to brake later. Ifney, is he going to run wide? He's not. He keeps on track and it's a very, very clean overtake. Cyclo looks down the inside. He's not going to be able to get that done. And now he just has to stay behind Ifney and try and work his way through the field, working together with the Red Bull driver. And for the first time this race, I think, we're going to look at Banter Brandon in the lead of this race, just managing that distance behind him to New Lap. Evidently got much, much more ERS there. If you didn't see, Brandon with 74% energy still harvesting. And New Lap only with 30. He's going to struggle to overtake him here in this sprint. But remember, that's all this is. It is only a sprint. The real race will come up next. And that's where all the points are gained. So we're now going to take a look back at Tease trying to make the move on Cyclo. Ifney has already dropped Cyclo. And Tease, are they going to go side by side through Maggots and Beckett's? Tease has hit Cyclo. And Tease now finally backs off. Or does he? As he's going to push with all his might down the hanger straight. Is he going to send one down the inside? No, he's not. He's much smarter than that. Brandon takes the fast lap of the race. And then New Lap right behind him. Retakes it off him. Not that there's a point awarded in the sprint, remember. And there's an Aston Martin round. And it's driver. He finds himself into the grass. Has he got any damage? He is going to continue on his path, so I don't believe he will have any damage. But P14 is not where he wants to find himself starting the race. And now the McLaren of Niels and Alvaro are side by side down into Village. Niels brakes much later. They're still side by side. And now his teammate of East has also gotten past the Alfa Romeo. I don't know if he's done that on purpose or not, but the McLarens have worked very nicely together there. Both of them gain the position, and Alvaro moves down to P13. This action is just non-stop here in the Silverstone sprint race. And our attention's turned to Ifni, who is chasing and has been chasing for a while Fantonius in the sister AlphaTauri, as Ifni does run very wide off track. Is the AlphaTauri likely to give up that position easily? It doesn't appear so. And just like it has done all race, 3rd, 4th and 5th, this battle has been very close between Jake, Bad Boy Man and Xavi. Bad Boy Man will be hindered by his 3-second time penalty at the end of the sprint race. It will move him down to below Xavi as it stands. And there's more yellows. It's Ifni. Where is Ifni? He's not appearing over the hill. There he is. Ifni spun it. Ifni now down into P10. He was right on the back of Fantonius in P8. And now he finds himself back behind Tees. He's done all this before. He's overtaken Tees. He's overtaken Cyclo. And now he's going to have to overtake them again. As it does look very close between Tees and Cyclo. Maybe because they were going through a very low speed corner. But Tees still sticking to the back of this Mercedes. Trying to keep my eye on 2 battles here at once, as Newlat is now well out of DRS range of Banter Brandon. And Xavi goes for the move down into Stowe. I said I was trying to watch 2 battles at once. This was one of them, and I've missed the overtake. But here comes Bad Boy Man. No, he doesn't. He does back off. Wise thing to do. Xavi now up into P4. Where can Xavi progress to now? Is he fast enough to catch up to the back of Jake the Lad, who has now broken DRS to both of these cars? And is he fast enough to keep Bad Boy Man in a much quicker Ferrari behind? As Bad Boy Man almost hits the back of Xavi, that's how much later Bad Boy Man is capable of braking. And now there's penalties on almost half of the grid here. If you want to have a look, we will take a look at the penalties now. There they are for all you watching. You can see East with a 6-second, Bad Boy Man, Tees, Ifni, Driver and Rob with a 3-second. Currently East would lose P12, and that is the only change penalties would make currently on the final lap, unless something severe happens. Xavi will not be able to catch Jake, as Jake does also pull away. There's your position change for the sprint race, as we turn our attention to Banter Brandon, who has been flawless in the sprint race, got away from the line well. He's led the line, and now he's about to lead them over the start finish line to signify the end of the Silverstone sprint race, as he takes the checkered flag. Next to cross the line will be Newlat. 5 seconds down the road will be Jake the Lad, starting on the 2nd row alongside this man Xavi. Brilliant performance in the Alpine. Bad Boy Man P5, Noxie slow to the line in P6, Fantonius behind in P7, Cyclo next across the line in the Mercedes, only gained 3 positions. He will be disappointed that was all he was able to muster up. Tees and Ifni next, and then Niels and East, the 2 teammates in the McLaren, but Alvaro does lift above him with those penalties. And finally 17 seconds down after that spin he had on the exit of Stowe, Driver in the Aston Martin takes the checkered flag, and just behind him is Rob J. Lewis to round out every single driver. So there you have it. There is how the lineup is going into the feature race. Brandon takes 4 points in the sprint race. Newlat takes second. Jake, Shavi, Barbleman, Noxie, Fant, and Cyclo do wrap up the points. Rob says he needs a safety car in the race to have any chance of points. Maybe so. With your 5-second penalty as well, I would say you need to be ahead of people and then not need a safety car, to be honest. There is a lot of drivers going at Ifni here in the paddock due to the lack of driving standards and ability from the second Red Bull driver. Well, there was no safety cars in the sprint race. It's not regularly a circuit you see many safety cars at. At least not me this week. Yeah, that's very true, Rob. I am not quite sure how Ifni does it. As Brandon does lead us away, as we will check what tyres everybody has started this race on. There you have it. The two championship rivals, Banter Brandon and Newlat, star on opposite tyres. Brandon in the Red Bull, electing the medium tyres, maybe expecting a safety car partway through the race. Newlat, on the other hand, gambled on the hards, as has Shavi, Cyclo, Tees and Rob, all expecting a very clean race and potentially getting the best out of the mediums at the end of the race on a charge. How will Newlat and Shavi warm up their tyres on this formation lap? Will they get enough heat into them to get a good run off the line? And is it possible to even dream of a Newlat overtake into turn 1 on those harder compound tyres? We shall see in just under a minute's time. Ladies and gentlemen, strap yourselves in. This is going to be an incredible race with incredible drivers. 26 laps of non-stop action. This is what we love as racing fans. Tees has left the session. Hopefully he can get back in very, very quickly. That's not something we like seeing, a driver lagging out. It's not ideal. Ifni finds himself off the track yet again. Honestly. How he's still in a Red Bull seat, I am bewildered. As Brandon now crawling to his grid slot. As he lines up beautifully. How many disqualifications will we see? Hopefully none. Well, bit of a jinx, but it's okay. That was a second jinx, but it's okay. Rob. That was not a good couple of seconds there for a commentator's curse. Anyway, 4 lights, 5 lights, and it's lights out, and away we go at the start of this Silverstone race. And Jake the Lad gets an excellent start. And he's around the outside of Newlat on those medium tyres. Those hards are not warm enough. And Newlat gets forced off the track. And now going round the loop, it is Jake the Lad in P2. Noxie and Ifni are side by side. Alfa Romeo and Red Bull. The Red Bull of Ifni does make up a place. And now Tees, who's not in the session, has lost out. And Noxie now fighting Ifney again through Lovefield. Down into Woodcock. Ifney's now ahead by enough to secure his position. Noxie's not going to think about going down the inside, is he? Ifney defends it. Very silly thing to do there from Ifney. Noxie now should get a better run, but there is the difference between a Red Bull and an Alfa Romeo. Tease, I'm not sure what I meant to do here, mate. It's very unfortunate. It happened last week as well to somebody. I can't remember who it happened to last week, but they asked for a restart, and I'm not sure what I was meant to do. As Ifney has made contact with Noxie, and Ifney is round. As Brandon is still in P1, and Nulat's round. Nulat is round on the start-finish straight. Has he hit the wall? Is there damage? So many questions. Yes, I'll send you an invite now, mate. There you go. Right. Back to the action we go. Cyclo's in the pits. He's had damage. He's had to replace his front wing in that Mercedes. It's gone from bad to worse for him this weekend. And it's okay to use, mate. They, if there's a safety car later on in this race, you're back in it. So just get in. And now Fant's going for a move down the inside of Driver into Brooklands. Does he get the move done cleanly? Yes, he does. There's not going to be much resistance there, you wouldn't imagine. As Brandon now does disappear round Cops. And now Tease loses out to his teammate Rob. And Ifney now on the back of them both after his spin. The AI of T is not doing him any favours, nor is it doing Ifney any favours. Ifney knows he needs to get this move done. They're going to go side by side. And Ifney does get ahead. Nulat being the big loser here on lap 1. You can't join, mate. Try joining through my profile. Or through the RPL profile. DRS is now enabled as we enter the third lap. Jake the Lad 1.8 seconds down. Bad Boy Man 1.7 seconds down on Jake. And Bad Boy Man is being pressed by the Alpine of Xavi. As Rob does let Ifney go into turn 1 in Abbey. So Nulat now really out of place in P9. Riding on board with him, watching the battle going on ahead as well between Fanthonius and Alvaro. It's very close here between the two Alfa Romeo and AlphaTauri drivers. And Driver already picks up a penalty on lap 3 of the feature race here around Britain. And Fanthonius has never been close to the back of Alvaro. As Fanthonius now looking to get it done down the hanger straight. He burns his ERS at the start. He's got DRS wide open. And here comes Nulat down the outside into Stowe. Who's going to brake later? Fanthonius pushes Nulat slightly wide. Fanthonius needs to leave room here. Fanthonius needs to leave room here, and he's just not. Nulat will have to try again. Very dirty driving from Fanthonius, who twitches through club. And now here comes Nulat again on the harder compound of tyres. And Fanthonius completely cuts the track at turn 1. That will definitely be a warning. And Nulat does hit the back of Fanthonius there. You did see that correctly. It's all getting a bit messy now. But disappearing at the front is Banter Brandon. He is gone. 2.3 seconds back to Jake the Lad. Fanthonius and Nulat still fighting it out. And Nulat tries going down the inside of Luffield. And they're so close. And Nulat in the Ferrari is going to get a better run down into Cops. And they're still trying to go side by side, even through Cops. Fantonius gets a 3-second time penalty now. Fantonius still trying to hang it out through Maggins and Beckett. They're still side by side. This is unbelievable racing from the two of them. Newlat out of ERS now. Fantonius is not, so he will get the advantage on the straight. Newlat cannot get past the AlphaTauri driver. It's incredible to watch. And Fantonius makes a mistake around the final corner. Newlat is trying to take advantage, and he's spun again. You just cannot hit that sausage curb with as much power as he has, and he's learnt from his mistake to not... Oh, it's caused a crash. And East has retired from this session. Newlat being on the racing line, and there is a safety car. And Newlat's just crashed it as well. Oh, what has just happened? It's heartbreak for the McLaren of East. Cyclo gets a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car. I'm not even sure he's had 15 seconds to be speeding under the safety car. And it's just a complete mess. Newlat on the track causes East to crash. And then Newlat, with those really, really overheated tyres, bins it himself. And now we do have our first safety car. I cannot believe quite what I've just watched. That will be taken a look at, I'm sure, by the FIA. As all of the lead drivers on those medium tyres do pit for hards, Xavi has to stay out. This is what the medium tyre runners were hoping for. Is anyone going to get held up in the pits? It doesn't look like it. Oh, maybe the Ferrari is actually. The Ferrari may have been held up a little bit there, but I don't think it's going to make any impact. It's not. He does come out. Well, the driver who is on those medium tyres has elected not to pit. Same as Ifni, who will come out ahead of his teammate, Brandon. And Ifni now slowing right down. Not too sure why. And now be prepared for a couple of minutes silence here from me, as under the safety car, no action going on. There's your race gone, Xavi. I would agree, unless there's a late safety car. That is all you are relying on now. Just, you've got Ifni in front of all the other cars though. Maybe he can do you a favour. He'll let Brandon go, of course he will at the restart, but he may hold up Jake and Bad Boy Man and Niels for you, so all the drivers being forced to go ridiculously slowly here, not to exceed the Delta. Xavi now the lead car under the safety car, and Alpine would not usually be expecting to be in this position. Obviously he hasn't pitted, neither of the two drivers just behind him, and all those on fresh 0 lap tyres that you can see on your screen now have just pitted and will be on much fresher tyres. Yeah, I agree, Brandon, it's far from over. Xavi, just believe, you've got to believe it's far from over. Does Cyclo decide to pit and go back on? Ifni is being accused of pushing a Mercedes driver into the wall at the start of the race. It's been a rather clean race so far. Hopefully it will continue to be that way. Rob decides to pit. Noxie gets past Niels because Niels is... I don't know how that's happened, but Noxie's given the position back, so it's all good. Xavi's got the pace for P2, says Brandon. I would agree, because your teammate definitely does not. Haha. How many laps will we see of this safety car then? We have got Cyclo has retired in the pit lane. That is disappointing for the Mercedes driver. It's not been his day. He had a poor qualifying. He only gained 3 positions in the sprint race, and now he is retired. Oh, at the start, Cyclo lost his whole wing, and that is why he struggled on lap 1. So we may see another lap under the safety car, because Rob J. Lewis may be just too far back to allow it to come in this lap. If you definitely can't do that on your own account, mate, when you're not a mod yourself. Yeah, wrong account. So the safety car is in this lap. Xavi will lead them away at the end of lap 7. When will Xavi decide to go? He's already gone. Xavi has already gone, I believe. And the driver behind him is going to be caught here by Ifni. As the driver, his tyres don't look ready. And Ifni does go past. As there's yellow flags, as Tease is round. Tease is in the wall. Has he got wing damage? He's definitely hit the wall. Xavi now still in the lead. Ifni has got past. Fantonius and Noxie have traded positions once again, as Noxie is trying to go back down the inside, and he spun it. He has hit something. I'm not quite sure what. There is an invisible wall there, I think, on the left hand side. And Noxie is round. He's going to have to restart his race all over again from P11. 2.5 seconds back from Rob in P10. Brandon now trying to push past, well, to get back up to Ifni so that he can let him go. And there's more yellow flags as Tease is round again. His tyres are not enjoying this. Still we go. Still Ifni is only 5/10 behind Xavi. Tease is round again. There we go. Oh, no. Oh, and Tease is out. Tease has retired from the session, and it's at Woodcote. This could be a safety car, and it is. Unbelievable. We have another safety car less than a lap after the last one went in. Ifni has decided to jump straight into the pit lane to put on those hard tyres. Where will he come out? Brandon. Don't on purpose slow everyone down. And he hasn't. Noxie's got a 5-second time over speeding in the pit lane as well. Noxie has just retired. Now everybody who finishes will receive points at the end of this race. Yep, a little bit typical Xavi, and now you've got the championship leader, Banter Brandon, right behind you. And Ifni now will no longer be able to hold up any cars. So it's all really down to you now. At the end of the race, if there's another safety car, people retiring in the pit, ruining it sadly. That wasn't what that safety car was for there, Brandon. I don't know if you think it was. But yeah, I do agree that people retiring in the pits is also ruining it. There was no need to retire there. So we do have 5 non-finishers already after only 8 laps. Unfortunately, we were low on numbers tonight. There is quite a lot of cases of many leagues being low on numbers at this time of year. The driver also pits for fresh hard tyres that will last to the end of the race. So now it is only Xavi who has not pitted yet in this race, and he is currently the race leader. We are also expecting the safety car to be in at the end of the next lap. If you are enjoying the stream and this race, I am aware that currently there have been 2 safety cars in 4 laps, but if you are enjoying it, please do share the stream, give us a follow, and join the Discord that has just recently been put in chat by Nightbot. We love new drivers, and all the support from everyone means a lot, so thank you very much, and just keep it up. It's an amazing community we are building here. There is big news on the front of another league on a different day within RPL coming soon, I hope. And there is race control with the safety cars in this lap. Here we go. Xavi will lead us away again. He caught driver off guard last time. Will he catch Brandon off guard? No, it doesn't appear so. As Xavi now right under pressure from the Red Bull driver, going across the line. As Rob Jedis also under pressure from Ifney. As you can see, the lights go green. Rob goes wide to avoid Ifney, and Ifney goes around the outside of the farm curve at turn 2. And now we can see Bad Boy Man trying to put pressure on Jake the Lad, as is Brandon on Xavi here for the lead of this race. Xavi has not pitted yet. Those 10 lap old hards, as much they look like they might be well used, they will be within the peak window. And now the Red Bull turns on his ERS for the start of the straight. And he just can take cops so much better. And now into Maggots, he's less than 2/10 behind. Ifney gets a 3-second penalty, and Ifney's out of the race. Ifney is out of the race. The sister Red Bull, and now drivers hit the back of Rob, and there's another safety car, and it's unbelievable. As soon as one safety car gets set off, it seems to just ignite a spark. Sorry, it's the doubtful. Yeah, no, I get you, Rob. I understood that one completely, mate. There's no problem there from me. Its driver also should have probably been a bit more cautious under the safety car. Shavi said last, nice. Well, you were very unfortunate, Shavi. I don't know what more you can do. You've now just got to show your raw pace here in the Alpine and try and get back up the grid. And I'm very sorry to all those viewers out there. We do have to sit through one more lap under the safety car. Please do get involved in chat though. Make this exciting for you and I. As unprofessional as it sounds, I have brought food up from the safety car, so I have just been on mute, just trying to re-nutritionalize myself. Safety car is in this lap, and Brandon, as he did for the entirety of Baku, will lead us away under the safety car. He has got these safety car restarts nailed on now. You'd imagine he'd have no issue with this, but let's wait and find out. We've seen how many drivers have binned it into the wall. Who's migrated host? If he's left the session. And here goes Brandon as he goes through club, and he's gone now. and he's caught Jake kind of napping, but the field is completely widespread. Brandon now just needs to pull off as quickly as he can from Jake, and Jake needs to try and avoid the threat of Bad Boy Man behind. All 9 drivers now will score at least a minimum of 2 points each in this race. The question is the order, because that will decide how many they each get. Bad Boy Man really trying to get to Jake the Lad right now. The Ferrari against the Merc. Superior versus superior of the past. Ride on board currently with the driver, who has just made 2 overtakes through Maggots and Beckett's. Quite extraordinary, really. And now Bad Boy Man will be pressing the back of Cyclo into Stowe. He's going to go down the inside as they carry on side by side. Jake the Lad does give up the place. Is he going to go again from the next corner? No, he's not. He's too good for that. Very smart driving. That may be Niels, maybe slightly pushing Niels off the track. Driver up into P4, and he hits the back of Jake. And he gets through on Jake. And now he gets through on Bad Boy Man. How is the driver so quick? Are those softs really that good? He's in an Aston Martin, for God's sake. How quick must those softs be? Look how much later he's able to brake. As he now gets through on the championship leader. Driver's P8, it's a lobby glitch. Okay, that makes sense. That's it, because he is gone. Fantonius and Niels are side by side here. Niels does give it up. So don't listen to that board that you can see on the left hand side of your screen. Brandon is in the lead of this race apparently, and there is a glitch. So the only battle on track currently is Xavi versus Alvaro. Is Xavi going to try and make the move down into Village? Yes, he is, on those much fresher medium tyres. But here comes Alvaro back at him through the loop. Xavi's traction on his mediums is just that much better though. So now Alvaro may not be able to keep up with Xavi here, as Bad Boy Man gets a 3-second time penalty. That could really cost him at the end of this race, as Jake the Lad, known for being extremely consistent in that Merc. But Jake the Lad's losing too much time here to Bad Boy Man. And there are yellow flags in a sector of the track where nobody is. The lobby is very glitched for me. I am not sure if anything is right here. No, it's not, because Brandon has apparently just set a fast lap of the race. The lobby has glitched, and I'm not quite sure what's going on. Alvaro is being overtaken here by Xavi. Rob, if you're able to give me an update of what's going on here, unless I am very, very glitched. I don't know if anything I'm seeing is a reality here. Jake the Lad is falling off significantly to the back of Bad Boy Man. But Jake the Lad is going extremely slowly around these corners, which I wouldn't imagine him doing. And this looks like an AI to me. I don't think I am watching the reality here. It's Jake going all the way down to 4th, just... Yeah, now... Oh, what's going on? Fan and Jake the Lad move up. Driver and Bad Boy Man are down. Oh, I don't know what's going on. The entire lobby's glitched. I guess we will find out in 7 laps time what is going on. This on screen now, you can see Bad Boy Man right on the back of Brandon, but on the telemetry it says Brandon's just got a 3-second time penalty somehow. I don't know how, because he's not... what is going on? This is just quite mind-boggling. Apparently Bad Boy Man is 13 seconds behind Banter Brandon. Brandon is setting fastest laps through Chapel. It says Bad Boy Man is 15 seconds down on Brandon, and yet he is right behind him. I don't know what's right. The leaderboards, what I'm watching, it looks like AIs that I'm watching, honestly. I don't know what is going on. I think that leaderboard may be correct as it is now, but it's certainly not what I'm seeing on track. So, oh, but now the leaderboard's now just gone back. Bad Boy Man's now only 5 tenths behind, which is what... Maybe that's now sorting itself out. I don't know. That looks sorted now. Maybe. No, the driver's still miles in the lead. Oh, what's going on? Well, that's what I was hoping for, but... And now Bad Boy Man apparently is now down into 8th. Oh, and Brandon's P7. Jake the Lad P8. Oh, mate. Apparently Rob is 31.5 seconds behind the car that I'm literally seeing right in front of him. There's yellow flags in Sector 3. I'm not quite sure who for because there's nobody there on my screen. Is it the driver? The driver's moved down a position. I'm not quite sure what's going on because he's just navigating the final corner now for me. Apparently he's quite far ahead of Brandon, but... Oh, mate. Right. 2 seconds. Guys, please bear with as we're trying to fix this very large technical issue here. Driver is still going on these softs. I thought he'd have needed to pit by now. Apparently, Niels Sharvey are very close to each other, and so is Fanthonius just ahead of them. We are unable to check if this is right or not. This is astounding. Somebody needs to clip this and send this to EA Sports and tell them to fix their stupid game. Right, we are riding on board with Xavi, who is on the mediums just behind this battle of Fantonis and Niels. We're trying to avoid looking at that leaderboard to our left right now, as now Xavi tries it around the outside. Yeah, that's a good question. That's a good point actually. How'd you do that? Not that. That. Right. Here we go then. So, Xavi made the move on Fant. They're going side by side. Oh yeah. I've got it. Race is fine, just streamer's gone because host left. Yeah, it is, Rob, I'm aware that's what it is. I knew the race would be fine, but I'm just going to have to try and commentate on whatever I'm watching. So, we are missing a leaderboard for now, guys. It is very, very messed up. Technical issue. And now Xavi, is he going to go for it? Down the inside. No, he is not. He backs out of it. And they are just travelling at 100 miles per hour through Stowe. It's like everyone's going much, much slower than they're meant to be. Finally, driver has been forced to pit. And now Xavi going down the inside into turn 1, Abbey. And he gets the move half completed. Down into village. Is he going to complete it all? Yes, he is. And he's up into P3. Maybe. No. P4? Maybe? P3? P3. P5. Yeah, we're going to go P5. We think Xavi's in P5. This is quite a new experience for me, I'm not going to lie. This has made the race very, very interesting on my part and yours. I will try and do my best though. So right behind Xavi we've got Alvaro and Fantonius. Very, very close to each other. And the driver in P8 is overtaking Babelman in P2. And he's not a lap car. And now he's about to overtake. Rob has just gotten a 3-second time penalty on a straight. I don't believe that's real. I believe that he is out of sync as well. So I don't think anyone can get a penalty down the straight. Jake's tyres look in terrible condition. Xavi's looks in a slightly better condition. He's on medium. As we look at the penalty count, that would be interesting because we are only 4 laps away from the end of this. Xavi has 6 seconds of penalties. Brandon, Niels, Fantonius, driver and Niels has 3 seconds of time penalties. And Rob has 9. We will find out at the end of the race how that impacts the final standings. But as I said earlier, everyone scores points now that finishes. So, very interesting. It's just a shame that the game is messed up so we can't see it in its full entirety. As Fantonius now has dropped right off the back of Xavi, and we've got Niels kind of playing a very lonely role here, although maybe Xavi can get up to him on those medium tyres. And Barberman still looks like he's extremely close to Brandon, if what I'm seeing is to be believed. As driver also gets another 3 seconds, that adds his up to 6 seconds. We are riding on board with Barboyman. as all the other battles seem to have dispersed. Not quite sure if that is, again, real or not, but it's okay. We are in this together. Bad Boy Man now just going through Cox. He's only got to take that corner 2 more times after this. Bad Boy Man now starting to drop off the back of Banter Brandon down towards Stowe. We are gonna change now to watch the championship leader, Banter Brandon's POV, as he navigates these final 2 laps to take what will be another amazing win at his home Grand Prix in Silverstone. Unfortunately, couldn't get tickets there this year as the provider backed out a couple of days before the race. He's got tickets next year, and this year he is going to take home the Silverstone win in season 1 of RPL as long as he can keep it on track for the next lap and a half. As he heads down towards Stowe, he's got the final 2-3 corners left of this lap, and then 1 more lap as we'll ride on board with him for a celebratory lap. As Brandon crosses the line, and now he takes Abbey, slight lift into 7th, then back on the power as he then breaks down into Village, turn 3. Now around the tight left hand of the loop, he keeps it tight to the apex before early on the power using the ERS down the back straight of the Wellington. And now he goes into Brooklyn's break around 20-25 metres. Down, get it over to the left before the turn in to Luffield 1 and Luffield 2. Now, cut some Woodcock, maybe not in the race, but you would definitely during qualifying lap. Look at the state of his tyres, you can see the graining on them. Now down into Cops, down into 6th gear. That's how bad his tyres are. Use as much of the exit as you can without exceeding the track limits. Through Maggots in 6th, Beckett's in 5th, Chappell maybe in 4th even. Yeah, he has. It's so slow on these old tyres. Down onto the hanger straight underneath the Rolex advertisement boards. Down into Stowe. Takes it in 5th. He's just struggling to get that car around. That's how bad these tyres are. Down into the Vale chicane. And then into Club. To take home the race win in Silverstone. It's Banter Brandon taking home. P2 is apparently Jake the Lad. P3 is Bad Boy Man. P4 is Niels Hendrick. P5 is Shavi. P6 will be Bandonius, I believe. Alvaro may have just pipped him. No, Bandonius gets it back on the line. Alvaro will be next across the line. As driver comes home to take P8 for Aston Martin. And Williams with Rob J. Lewis will take P9. Cheers, Rob. I really struggled to do that one, I can't lie. Doing that all on my own. Unusual territory for me. And then with that stream messing up, that was very tricky for me. So there we have it. Banter Brandon takes home maximum points to improve his lead of the championship. Jake the Lad takes home P2. Bad Boy Man takes home P3. If those three would like to come and join the comms box for an interview, they are more than welcome to. Banter Brandon, Jake the Lad, and Bad Boy Man. Let's double check that they all are in this chat. Yeah, you did definitely get P9, Rob. That is because Noxie and Nulat both scored high in the sprint race. So that's when you add the two up for the entire weekend. Jake, Bad Boy Man, and who's the other one? Who is the other one? It's Brandon. They are all in here. If they would like to join, Brandon is in here. Bad Boy Man and Jake the Lad. Right. Bad Boy Man is here. Is Jake the Lad going to join as well? Neil's driver of the day is slightly difficult for me here because I didn't see the last 7 laps. I will do driver of the day after interviews, after I've got some sort of understanding of what has unfolded. Right, all 3 of them are in, so I am going to start with P3. Who was P3?
Me, I was P3.
Bad Boy Man, yeah?
Yes.
How was your race, mate?
Yeah, it was okay. It was okay. Had a good start, overtook Sharvey, and he was on the mediums, and then 2 safety cars, and he was like, everyone pitted, and he stayed, and then when he pitted, he dropped far back, and then new lap spins, that was so shit.
Yeah.
But after all, P3 is more than I expected, so.
Well, it's very good. It's very good for Ferrari, and with Newlat crashing out, you really need to get those points for Ferrari in that hunt for the Constructors' Championship. So, were you in P2 at all, or was that just the stream completely messed up?
No, that was just a stream move.
Okay, because I was wondering whether you and Jake had a good battle at the end or something.
No, he was too fast.
Okay. So Right, I didn't see much of it, but at the start, those safety cars, did they help you or did they get in the way of your strategy?
No, no, it was okay. Like everyone pitted on the same lap, so everyone was on dead tires at the end, 80% or something. It was
80%?
insane.
Mad.
Yeah, it was insane.
They did look poor.
Yeah, they were. And I
Right,
just want to thank Niels. He
Niels, what did
lovely,
Niels do?
lovely party. Yeah, lovely party. It was nice, and we had a good battle. So
Nice. Well done. That's the sort of spirit we need in
yes, yes.
RPL. Well, congratulations on your P3, mate, and thank you for a very clean race.
Thank you.
Right, onwards we move to P2. Jake,
Hello, fella.
you alright, mate?
Yeah, I'm not bad, mate.
How was that race for you?
Boring.
Boring.
Yeah, just very lackluster. Lots of safety cars and seeing a Red Bull Oracle rear wing just in my front view all the time.
Um, I've got nothing. Um, Brandon, yeah, must have been just too fast.
Oh, mate, he's got legs. Like, there's just literally no point. Like, I've got Neela on the start, and then there's just Brandon in front, and you may as well just be happy with P2 because you'll never get P1 when he's leading it.
Were you disappointed at the safety cars then? Because that would have been your one chance, maybe a strategy to maybe play a blinder.
I mean, obviously, I wasn't happy with the safety cars beforehand, but I was kind of just like praying that we got one in the last like 6 laps or so.
What
But
tyres did you end up on?
so my front left and my front right were on 87 and 88, and then
Oof.
my rears were on 80.
It's
So
a
I
real
think,
surprise we saw no punctures then.
yeah, I mean, I think another lap, they definitely just would have gone. I was just staying off all curbs, like taking every like slow speed corner in like fourth gear and the high speeds and just like eighth. God, it just wasn't nice.
Yeah, I bet, mate. Well, congratulations on your P2. Really bringing it home for Mercedes after your teammate struggled a lot this weekend.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Finnick, and thank you for doing the comms over such a race like that.
That's
Really
all right,
appreciate
mate.
it.
Bit of a graveyard shift, but it's all good.
Cheers, mate.
All right, moving on now to your race winner and even further extended championship leader, Brandon, bro. How was that?
Um, Good, perfect.
Let's have some more enthusiasm, please.
It was great. It was great.
Um, Really, your qualifying was amazing. You pipped Newlap by what was it, 600ths of a second.
Yeah, it was very close.
You then dominated the sprint race. You were holding him at a perfect distance whilst maintaining your ERS advantage. And then he crashed out of the race, which gave you a perfect run. Talk us through how that race weekend went for you and what more could you have done to make that better?
Yeah, sprint was perfect. No mistakes. Kept Nula at arm's length. Saved the RS. Yeah, sprint was perfect. And then I pulled the gap. Pole for the race. Perfect start again. Um, yeah, only thing I think I could have done different in the race, I think I should have done Xavi's strat to be honest. Yeah, those tires at the end. Yeah, I wasn't racing. I was just walking around the corners.
Yeah, unfortunately we didn't get to see that because it would have been very interesting knowing how dead those tyres would have been.
Oh yeah, mine about they weren't as bad as other people's by the looks, but yeah, 70% ish. So
Still on
yeah,
puncture
I just had
territory.
to be I just had to be cautious those last 5 laps.
Yeah, it's fair enough, mate. Well, congratulations on P1. I seem to be saying that every single week since I've started commentating this. Um, yeah, not really
Yeah,
much more to
cheers
say.
mate. Yeah.
Absolutely perfect from you. You got maximum points from the weekend. And congratulations. It won't be long before you're crowned champion, I don't believe.
No, we got a while to go, mate. But yeah, cheers and well, thanks for doing comms.
That's all right, mate. Thank you very much for racing. Right, that thankfully is the end of a very lackluster race and very poor game conditions where we've had lots of impact. So next time out, next Wednesday, is around the street, not the street, sorry, it's around the circuit of Austria. My bad, I can't read. Austria round the Red Bull home of Austria. Should be a very interesting race, that one. Lots of overtaking opportunities, potentially unlike Silverstone does. So make sure you do check out RPL Racing next Wednesday at 8 p.m. and enjoy your week, and we'll see you then. Thank you guys for watching.